It is in the best interest of males to make investments early so that they can reap the benefits of price appreciation. Nevertheless, they do not wish to wait for it to occur. In my experience, a great number of people have difficulty with this particular issue. For the sake of clarity, I would want to explain why I am waiting. I want to show you what the main institutions are doing behind the scenes, which they choose to conceal from you, because I believe it will really help you comprehend. It is truly the best thing that could happen, and I want to show you what they are doing. In order to manage their assets before the cryptocurrency industry gathers momentum, large institutions purposefully keep the values of some cryptocurrencies at a low level. We would like to express our gratitude for your continued support and acknowledge the importance of each and every person who takes the time to like our videos and subscribe to our channel. These two items are truly helpful to me in a significant way. Very much to be desired. Let us get started, and I am confident that you will find the information to be interesting. At the outset of this video, I would want to make a brief mention of something that I consider to be rather important for everyone to be aware of at this present moment. It is the decision that Joe Biden made to veto Senate Bill 121 that is the matter at hand. You should watch the video again if you are interested in learning more about SAB 121, because we addressed it in great detail in the video that we uploaded yesterday night. On the other hand, SAB 121 is nothing more than a regulation issued by the SEC that forbids institutions from having digital assets in their possession. Even if a digital asset is now clear, the Securities and Exchange Commission is actually doing everything in its power to block institutions in the United States from gaining access to it. During a vote that took place yesterday, both the Senate and Congress came to the conclusion that Section 121 completely violates the Constitution and must be removed immediately. Joe Biden made the announcement in reaction to any vote that he would exercise his veto power over the repeal if it was adopted by both the Senate and Congress. As of right now, we are waiting to find out whether Joe Biden will actually veto it or whether that was just a bluff on his part. The realization by Joe Biden that a significant number of Democrats actually voted in support of repealing Senate Bill 121 would be a very positive development. To be sure, it is possible that it would not be in his best advantage to really veto the repeal, as he would come to the realization that there is a lot of support for doing so, and that it might start to dawn on the administration that a higher number of people are opposed to Bitcoin. The likelihood is that it is one of the most significant things that we need to be paying attention to right now, provided that Joe Biden does not exercise his veto power. We should keep in mind that it is 9 business days, as I think it to be the case. The possibility of legislation backing cryptocurrencies being passed this year is something that I would consider to be very highly hopeful. In my judgment, the present administration's chances of being re-elected would be essentially eliminated if Joe Biden were to exercise his right to veto Senate Bill 121 and effectively revive it. It is very evident that a sizable segment of the populace that supports cryptocurrency only votes for and is fed up with those saying negative things about the industry. We are unable to make a prediction on the outcome at this time. Nevertheless, in the weeks to come, this matter will become of significant importance. Guys, we have to keep an eye on how this situation develops. If it does not make a veto, despite the fact that we might be in a far more bullish environment than I ever thought, the fact that it is still a positive indicator is still a positive indicator. I want to move on because I believe that Republicans and Democrats can collaborate to ensure that we are able to face up to unfriendly regulators who are using their power and attacking our industry. I want to move on because of this combination. On the other hand, I would like to discuss a significant problem that a great number of people are encountered with during this difficult time period. Despite the fact that this is older footage of Brad Garlinghouse, I have never actually heard him say this before. However, this is one of the benefits of being early in this sector. It struck me as being extremely impressive. At this moment, Brad Garlinghouse is talking about the subject at hand. According to what he rightly points out in this video clip, this is one of the very first instances in the history of the cryptocurrency sector in which retail investors have been given this benefit before. Before the cryptocurrency sector emerged, the institutions would place their allocations and say, okay, retail, you are not ready to come in yet. This was the case in practically every market before the Bitcoin industry. It is necessary for you to be a legitimate investor. It is imperative that you have a clear understanding of the sum of money that we are investing in this sector, and after we have exhausted it, we will transfer it to you. This was the standard method by which the markets functioned, but the introduction of cryptocurrencies completely flipped the paradigm on its head. As a result of the fact that individual investors might be able to enter the market before larger institutions, we are able to make an attempt to forecast where the institutions will ultimately spend their resources and exceed them. I have a strong belief that a significant number of us in the XRP community have acknowledged the possibility of causing disruption to the existing financial system. A significant number of us in the XRP community, I believe, have come to the realization that the many products and protocols that are currently available have the ability to cause disruptions in the existing financial system. An important component of the theory postulates that institutions would, at some point in the future, acknowledge the value of the XRP ledger and contribute to our investment efforts. Nevertheless, it is essential to take into consideration the fact that these establishments are late to the party. They are not going to enlighten you about the place. Due to the fact that we were able to beat them to the investment in years earlier in the private markets, they are not going to announce that they are going to begin investing in the XRP ledger, and that they aim to completely embrace it in 3 to 4 years. Considering that they did not have to be afraid, institutions were able to communicate with a far greater degree of ease. Due to the fact that institutions are now aware of the path that retail is following, they need to exercise exceptional prudence in the announcements and indications that they make. There was simply no way for retail to invest in these items. From the back of the room, we were witnesses to this very phenomena, with individuals such as JP Morgan suggesting that the XRP ledger is prepared for mass adoption in the event that Ripple is successful in its legal battle against the SEC. There are individuals such as B and Mellon who are sending their own board members to the Ripple meeting. In 2013, the Federal Reserve met with Ripple, which was well received by the public. Individuals such as Bank of America signing Ripple as a partner in 2018 and continuing to be a partner with them during the entirety of the Ripple CC case. There are an infinite number of cases of institutional adoption taking place at the back end right now. Further, none of this information is ever made available to the general public. The fact of the matter is that Ripple has made a concerted effort to be respectful. Rather than approaching people directly, I would want to ask you if you would mind pulling it. They had no intention of this information becoming public at this time. It is now common knowledge that significant institutions make every effort to keep their operations a secret behind closed doors. For the purpose of demonstrating to you all that this is the fact, I wanted to bring this to your attention. We have learned over the course of the past few days that a large number of big institutions have been making investments in the Bitcoin TFS, despite the fact that they have not issued any formal announcements regarding this matter. We have been aware of this for approximately 1 quarter, and the only reason we are aware of it is because we are now able to view them in SEC filings. What institutions have been doing with the Bitcoin Exchange Traded Funds ETFs is starting to become clear to us. By the time that era came to a conclusion, these Bitcoin Exchange Traded Funds ETFs had already been made available to the public, based on the numerous discoveries that we had made. Moreover, we are aware that a significant number of these organizations will be served with bills. At this point, what is the point of this? It is important to note that none of these organizations have offered any assurances or shown any optimism over their ability to do this. In point of fact, a significant number of them came out with bad results, attempting to act as if the industry as a whole did not exist, that they were not interested, that they were not looking at this, that they were not investing, that they were not making any announcements, and so on were all things that they were doing. Nevertheless, in the background, they were all putting big amounts of money, and they were not spending significant amounts of money into the sector by any means. I am of the opinion that this pattern will persist into the foreseeable future. I feel that many of these institutions are publicly expressing, look, we don't really see the purpose of cryptocurrencies. This is something that occurs when it comes to the usefulness of cryptocurrencies. Things like XRP, well, we don't know about that, but when we look at what they're doing behind the scenes, we see a lot of the hardships that they're going through. They are carrying out a great deal of testing. However, the most important question is whether or not they have a complete understanding of the relevance of XRP in the financial system of the next generation. In the event that they publicly accept that retail will continue to outperform and surpass